So guys, a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be ranking the Dark Souls 3 bosses from easiest to hardest, because I have nothing better to do. And yeah, I have nothing else to say, let's just get right into it. Oh, Gundy. Oh, it pains me to put you so low on the list, purely just because you utterly clapped my cheeks on the first playthrough, but on every other playthrough I have done that to you, no homo. Okay, so let's get into why this boss is easy. He leaves very long punish windows. Sure, he does have a long range, but if you get close to him, he can't hit you at all. And his back has a weak spot. The only thing maybe redeeming him is his second phase, where he turns into this stupid, gross dragon monster thing, which, it has fairly large hitboxes, and it just brings out everything terrible in Dark Souls, but if you pick up the fire bombs and lob them at him, it just utterly annihilates his health bar. He can't do anything against it, and it's just an all-around shit show. This isn't saying Gundy's a bad boss. Not by any means. He's easily the best starting boss in any FromSoft game, and I do like the fact that it immediately plunges you into the deep end with just this normal knight. Then he turns into this stupid dragon monster thing, which, it really throws you in for a loop. And, I have to praise Gundy for that, but I can't praise him for his difficulty. He's an easy as shit boss, and, he takes the bottom spot on my list. Next place we have Deacons. Deacons are only slightly above Gundy because the fat guys are really annoying, but other than that, they don't pose any more of a threat than Gundy does. You can switch around the spots and it doesn't change anything. I was meant to offer my advice against Gundy, but I forgot. So I'm going to offer my advice against the Deacons, because I'm going to do it for all of the boss. Basically, count your Deacons, make it a little bit more interesting. Got the red Deacons, kill that guy, 1 Deacon, 2 Deacon, 3 Deacon, 4 Deacon, 5 Deacon. Look at that, right? Boss Deacon comes up, rises from the grave like the goddamn Undertaker, right? Stand directly behind him, backstab that guy, get him right in the asshole, and that's a ton of damage immediately. Then just start wailing on him until he dies. He doesn't have that much health. He has less health individually than Gundy does. And there you go, you just get a free victory. These Deacons like the Dark Souls KKK, no one really likes them that much. So, for that exact reason, the Deacons get really low on the list. Not only for being a crap boss, but a painfully easy one. I feel like now's a better time to say this than ever, but credit goes to Boss Fight Database for providing me the clips. I did record my own clips with OBS, but DaVinci Resolve doesn't support OBS unless you put on specific settings, but I didn't know that as I was recording it, so I didn't have those settings on, which means that I can't use those clips. So that's why I didn't backstab them there. You can stop typing your comment now. Oh yeah, link to Boss Fight Database in the description. Walnut. Dark Souls 3's Rice Gun. Mainly in the way where he only cares about his drip, and when you break his drip, he literally fucking dies. Okay, so the guy didn't do it in the video. Like I said, I got it from Boss Fight Database, but you can actually get 3 hits on his left hand before the fight even starts. If you don't pick up the item in the middle, and you search for his left hand, you can find it. You can break a bracelet immediately, before the fight's even begun. And then all you need to do is break the other 2 bracelets, and then you win. The thing that does make Walnut harder than the other 2 is that he packs a punch. When he hits you, it hurts. But his attacks are really easy to dodge. And the other thing is that he has poison underneath him. It has insane damage, but I think it's alright because it's a good way of keeping players out from underneath him. So I can't complain too much about that. And he kind of suffers from FromSoft puzzle boss syndrome in the way where he's not good and he's really easy. That's basically all Dark Souls puzzle bosses. Yeah, Walnut is no exception to that. I think Walnut's law is the fact that he was corrupted by the Abyss, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you! So, like, he hid or something like that. Basically, he didn't fight back against it. He just hid from it like a little bitch. Which is why the Abyss Watchers are outside of the catacombs, because that's where Walnut is, and the Abyss Watchers like, hey, we need to defend against the Abyss, and then Walnut is just there like, ah! But, yeah, I'm getting off topic. Walnut, you're trash, die. Believe it or not, despite being a puzzle boss and super easy, Jorm is actually one of my favourite bosses in the game. His music adds so much intensity and his character design is awesome. That doesn't mean he's very hard, though. The reason he isn't very hard is because his weakness is right behind him, the Storm Ruler. If you charge it up, swing it at him, it does more damage to him than a simp after his favourite ego has said that she has a boyfriend. You know, Jorm is one of these bosses where I like to think that they've gone through this thing called PP training. You know, where they're just an all-around Giga Chad, but they have no penis anymore. They sacrifice their penis in the ways of combat. They made themselves as strong as possible by sacrificing their penis. If you flash your penis to the sun at 4 a.m, you will just get godly powers. But if you get rid of your penis, the powers grow exponentially, and Jorm has definitely done neither of those. But he has cut his dick off, so I mean, there's that. I mean, can you see a dick on this man? I can't. But all around, I think Jorm is a pretty solid boss. His music has the ability to end No Nut November through sheer audio alone. And, yeah, just a pretty intense boss, but he's also really easy. Yeah, that's about it. I like coming up with stupid nicknames for bosses, so I'm gonna call this thing Trashbird. There's a reason I say that. This thing is the worst boss in the entire game, if you could even call it a boss. It's a one-hit kill dragon. Whose idea was that? Like, you literally walk into the arena, see this massive dragon, and you're like, oh my god, it's going to be a dragon fight. Then you walk behind it, and you see that that bit's open. You're just like, oh, okay, I'll search in there. You search in there, ton of those really annoying dragon guys from Archdragon Peak, just, you're forced to fight them because they're right next to you, or you could speedrun strat and run past them, but you will take damage because they're really annoying, right? And then, you go over the top of it, and then plunging attack him, and that's the boss. Worst boss in the game, without a doubt. What were they thinking? I bet you're wondering, hey, MC Uniboob, why did you put it above all those other bosses? Well, he lands here by default. Not that he's actually any hard at all, but those mini dragon guys are super annoying, and that plunging attack is really easy to miss, just because of the way that he sways and stuff. Yeah, that's the only reason why. Without that, he would probably be the easiest boss in the game. The next boss is Vort. He does reverse PP training, basically making his PP bigger, which in turn makes you less powerful. Because the smaller your PP, the more powerful you get. At least that's what my ex-wife said when she was trying to comfort me. Vort is kind of like the Ancient Wyvern in the way where, like, he kind of lands here by default rather than, you know, actually being any hard at all. But basically, the way you beat this guy is just, you smack that booty. You hug that guy's ass, and you just smack it. You basically cling to his ass, just like my ex-wife. Disclaimer, I don't have an ex-wife. This was all made up for a joke. Please don't attack me in the comments. Thank you. I don't know why I keep on bringing up my ex-wife. I guess this boss just reminds me of her. Basically, just cling to this guy's ass, and when he enters phase 2, he does this weird scream thing, and his entire body becomes a hitbox. Just roll when he gets close to you. It's really easy. And then he does this really stupidly long charge attack, which takes, like, I'm pretty sure it's like 5 or 6 seconds to actually do the move, so you can literally just wail on him for that entire time, and also while he's doing the move as well, because that move does not track. Ugh, I hate fighting this stupid tree. Fighting this boss is terrifying, because he could shit on you at any time. It's like being in the middle of an orgy during a stomach virus outbreak. You just have to smack this guy's balls. Is that the only boss ever where you need to punch him in the dick and it works? There's charcoal pine bundles at the beginning of the level. Enchant your sword with them and just go to town on his hand and leg. I'm not sure if they do it in the video. I need to rewatch it. But, yeah, just smack that arm and leg, because you do like half their health bar before you break the main ball sack, and then you break the main ball sack, they break the thing, and then they go down, all the enemies die, it's just you versus him, and then he starts sprouting a hand from his dick, And, yeah, basically, you want to avoid attacking his crotch as much as possible, you want to break all the other balls, and you want to have a fire enchanted weapon. That's pretty much how you beat this boss. He's only this high because I struggle with him a lot. I don't know why. Probably because he grosses me out so much. But, yeah, he's I hate this guy. You know what? I came up with a nickname for a boss I hate in the Ancient Wyvern. Now let's come up with a nickname for this guy. Like, Gay Groot, Skankwood. I don't fucking know. Fuck this guy. Well, next we have the Crystal Sage. Here we've reached the bosses, like, very end of the bosses where they're just a little bit more than glorified punching bags now. And right at the end of the punching bags is the Crystal Sage. I struggle with him quite a bit, especially on New Game Plus cycles. He becomes harder and harder as they go along, just because he does more and more damage. But the reason he's this high is because you have to respect the low HP struggle. If you don't have the health to absorb all of his attacks, he will just annihilate you. Because he summons clones of himself and they start projectile coming all over the place. And there's pretty much a certainty that you're gonna take damage. So if you don't have a high health bar, you're fucked. Oh yeah, and also the Sage can be parried. So easy boss gets easier, I guess. The Abyss Watchers. I've been looking forward to talking about these guys. They, definitely are the best boss in the early game. One of the best bosses in the game in general. They have one of the best soundtracks in the game. And just by design, they're really good as well. Because they summon a clone and you're like, oh no, there's going to be another gank fight. And they bring up another one and you're just like, are you kidding me? 3 against 1? That's not very fair. And then that third one starts attacking the other Watchers and you're like, whoa, what the hell is this? And it's so cool. And then this opens up so many different strategies you could use to beat them. You could either run away, let the good clone fight the other two, or you can help the other clone fight the main boss by himself. Yeah, but this does make the boss easier, which is why it's not even in the top half. But after you take out the boss's first phase, all of the Watchers die. And then a cutscene plays, which is probably my favourite cutscene in the entire game. It's definitely up there. There's like 3 or 4, which are my favourite ones. But just watch. Okay, so after that cutscene's over, you will be put in for a world of annihilation because this guy will clap your ass so hard. The Abyss Watcher will clap you harder than a speedrunner who just figured out how to clap. He has fire after effects, he's much faster, he leaves a trail on the ground, and he's just an all-around Giga Chad, and this is my personal favourite part of the fight. But, the only thing pulling the Abyss Watchers down, because even in the first phase when you can get the guy to help you, he can attack you as well, so relying on him isn't a very good idea. But the thing pulling the Abyss Watchers down is they don't have much health at all. You can... I'm pretty sure you can 2-shot the first phase if you have a strong enough weapon, which is a real shame because this is a fantastic boss, and if only it was harder, it'll probably be just my favourite boss. Half-Life, Dark Souls 3's PvP fight. I hate PvP in Dark Souls, so I hate this fight. This fight wins second worst boss award after the Ancient Wyvern. And, I mean, it's because Adjudicator Argo at the beginning is just a big old boy, and he's a little bitch, right? And then he summons a Painting Guardian who's really annoying and really hard to kill. Then Half-Light comes along, just shanking you all the time, and he's a parry god with a shield, and sometimes it's an invader, which, albeit, is pretty easy, but, yeah, I hate PvP, so, yeah, this is a terrible boss. I hate this boss. Gravetender and Gravetender's Great Wolf. On one hand, this boss is terrible because Gravetender and the Wolves, but on the other hand, it's really good because the Great Wolf, which is just a reskin of an earlier enemy. The way you beat this boss is you go hyper-aggressive on Gravetender and the Wolves before the Great Wolf comes out, or else Gravetender and the Great Wolf will get rid of your health bar quicker than a strip club filled with a ton of teenage boys gets through tissues. But as soon as you get rid of Gravetender, this fight is... I mean, the Great Wolf is... He's pretty easy to deal with, actually. It's just, Gravetender's super annoying, but the Great Wolf is really fun. But, both of them together is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Which is why they're this high on the list. Now, the old Demon King is the winner of something. Winner of most forgettable boss. Seriously. I barely remember this guy. I actually don't remember most of his moves. What's the point of him? Old Demon King represents, like, the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. Because, like, some of his moves pack a mean punch, and many of them aren't that easy to dodge. But, he's an optional boss, which means you can come back later when you're super beefed up and you can just absolutely destroy him. So there's really no reason to do it right at the beginning of the game. So, yeah, he's definitely getting marked down for that. But, you know, he's not trying to be peak difficulty, but he's also not trying to stand out at all. He's just really boring. This is a boring boss. Final boss for today, Aldrich, one of the Lords of Cinder. Probably the most forgettable one as well. He's right in the middle of the pack for both difficulty and fun factor. Mainly because of that arrow spam. That arrow spam is AIDS. Basically, in the first phase, you can just dodge past them. They don't track. Second phase, they will hunt you down. They will hunt you down just like a pro Smash player when they see a miner at a convention. Other than that, and that stupid teleporting thing, Aldrich is not very hard. He does have that really stupid thing where he plunges the stuff into the ground and then just all this fluid goes everywhere. And, like, so basically, because all of this stuff is made out of his body, right? All the stuff on the floor, right? He hits it and all this fluid comes out. He's effectively pissing on you when he puts his staff down in the ground and all this stuff goes everywhere. It's disgusting, right? I went at the cursor at Great Word. I was like, yo, this dude's pretty gross. Nah, not as gross as Aldrich, man. Like, I mean, he's probably a bit worse than Aldrich, but Aldrich is, he's no looker. And also, he absorbed Gwendolyn. I think his name's Gwendolyn. Basically, he's the Dark Souls trap. He's the trap character in Dark Souls, and yeah, it's not doing him any favors. I don't know, like, why he's Devourer of Gods if he only absorbed one god who was a child. But all right, whatever you do, you Aldrich. So I'll continue this video later. I'll do 12 and downwards, and all the cool bosses come then. I don't know when it's gonna come out because I don't actively edit stuff. I did this entire video in one day, so that took me about 7 hours, that did, so I'm not sure if that was a waste of time or not. But yeah, just keep a lookout for that, and I'll be with you soon. So that was the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. make sure to like and subscribe, because most of my views are from people who aren't subscribed. And also credit to Boss Fight Database for providing me the clips, which I've said earlier, and also to the Demodcracy for giving me the idea for the video. My transitions from boss to boss are the exact same as his. So, yeah, I have to give credit to him. And I'll catch you on the flip-flop. See you all later. Bye.